Most people think arousal is simple, that it's just a matter of physical touch, a certain look, or the right words whispered in the dark. But when it comes to women, that idea couldn't be further from the truth. Female arousal is not just about the body, it's about the mind, the emotions, the moment. It's the difference between flipping a light switch and lighting a candle. One is instant, but the other needs intention, time, and warmth. Imagine a woman sitting at a dinner table with her partner. She's had a long day. Her mind is racing with unfinished tasks, work stress, and a flicker of self-doubt about how she looks in her outfit. Now imagine that same woman being told, "I want you." In theory, that should be a turn-on, but in that moment she doesn't feel sexy. She doesn't feel seen, and so nothing happens. That's the first truth about female arousal. It's not just about desire, it's about context. The brain plays a much bigger role than people think. A woman can be with someone she finds physically attractive, but if she feels emotionally disconnected, uncomfortable, or stressed, her body won't respond. It's like trying to start a fire in the rain. You need the right conditions to ignite the flame. Research backs this up. Scientists studying arousal have discovered that women don't just have an on switch, they also have brakes. This is called the dual control model. There are things that excite arousal, like touch, fantasy, or emotional closeness. But there are also things that inhibit it, like anxiety, fear, shame, or even just feeling rushed. If the brakes are pressed too hard, it doesn't matter how appealing the stimulus is. Nothing moves forward. Arousal for many women is about what's not getting in the way. Remove stress, self-consciousness, distractions, and suddenly, desire has room to breathe. It's no wonder that so many women report that their arousal begins not in the bedroom but earlier in the day, in a meaningful conversation, in an unexpected compliment, in a small act of kindness that makes them feel cared for. The real foreplay often happens hours before any clothes come off. That's because what turns women on is often deeply connected to being emotionally seen and desired, not just as a body but as a person. When a woman feels genuinely wanted, not just needed or used or expected, something opens. Her mind relaxes, her heart softens, and her body begins to listen. There's a psychological term for this kind of desire. It's called responsive desire. Unlike spontaneous desire, which strikes like lightning, responsive desire builds gradually. It emerges in the right context with the right emotional cues. For many women, desire isn't something they feel out of nowhere. It's something that grows when they feel safe, connected, and engaged. And when that happens, their arousal can be just as intense, just as consuming as any sudden burst of lust. But what exactly triggers this feeling of safety and connection? Often, it's not the obvious things, it's the subtle ones. The way someone listens, the way they look at her when she's speaking, the feeling of being prioritized not just sexually but emotionally. It's mental foreplay, flirtatious teasing, shared secrets, a slow emotional undressing that precedes the physical one. For some women, arousal is also tied to power and surrender, not in the sense of losing control, but in trusting someone enough to let go. That's why fantasies involving dominance, submission, or being taken are common among women. In the real world, these dynamics only work when trust is deep. But in the realm of imagination, they offer a delicious kind of psychological tension, the thrill of letting go without fear. It's not about danger. It's about intensity, permission, and being wanted so deeply that resistance becomes pleasure. Other women are turned on by intelligence, by mystery, by novelty. The mind is the primary erogenous zone. A compelling story, an unexpected text, or an intense gaze across a crowded room can stir desire more than any touch. This is why so many women are drawn to books, fantasies, and narratives, because desire for them is a story unfolding, not just a moment happening. And yet, the world often misunderstands this. Female sexuality is still filtered through cultural expectations and outdated myths. Many women are raised to believe their desire is shameful, that being too sexual makes them less respectable, that asking for what they want is too bold. Over time, those beliefs build walls around arousal. Even when the body is willing, the mind holds back. This is why emotional safety is so essential. For a woman to truly let go, she has to believe she won't be judged, rejected, or made to feel wrong for what she wants. She needs to feel that her body is enough, that her fantasies are okay, that her pace will be honored. When those conditions are met, arousal flows freely. What turns women on then is not a fixed list of actions. It's not just lace or lingerie or the right position. It's the feeling of being chosen, cherished, known. Sometimes it's laughter. Sometimes it's a gentle kiss on the neck while she's cooking. Sometimes it's silence, two people lying together, breathing in sync. Arousal is as much about presence as it is about passion. And it changes too, with age, with experience, with healing. A woman's relationship with her own arousal evolves over time. What thrilled her at 20 may feel shallow at 40. What once scared her may now awaken her. The more she understands herself, the more her desire becomes rooted in self-trust and freedom, not performance. In the end, what turns women on is not mystery, but depth. It's not a trick or a tactic, but a relationship with themselves and with their partners that allows desire to unfold naturally. It is complex, yes, but not impossible to understand. Just listen, ask, notice, and most of all, create a space where she can be fully herself. Because in that space, the flame doesn't need to be forced. It rises, it glows, it burns bright. And when it does, it lights up more than just the body, it awakens the soul.